Welcome to Test Prep Central. We are going to solve matrix equations using the graphing calculator. This is Calculator Workshop 7. In example 1, you're given a system of equations, 2x plus 5y equals negative 14, and x minus 3y equals 15. And we are going to write a matrix equation for that system. In your handout, there is a matrix equation written for you. And so step 1 for me is to clear the memory. And then we will go now and put in the matrix, the first matrix in your matrix equation, which is called the coefficient matrix. Type second matrix, edit 1. Now it says matrix A at the top of your screen. This matrix in this system is a 2 by 2 because it has 2 rows and 2 columns. So put the dimensions at the top. And then enter the numbers as they appear in your matrix equation. You'll notice it goes across and then down to the second row. Since there is no number in front of the x visible, we put positive 1 there. And then the minus sign will make that 3 a negative 3 for that coefficient. Next, we put in the matrix B, which is the 2 numbers on the right side of your system. So we type second matrix, edit, so right 2, which says B, so you should see B on your screen. This is a 2 by 1, so type a 2, 2, enter, 1, enter. If you accidentally type 1 by 2, which some students do that occasionally, you'll know it's wrong because the shape of the matrix does not match the shape of the matrix on your paper. So the numbers are negative 14 and 15. So type negative 14, not minus, but negative, the one below 3. Use your arrow to go down to the other one or type enter, and then type 15, enter. Be sure to hit enter so it will record the number in that spot. Okay, the next step is to solve the matrix equation. So go out of your matrix by typing second mode, that's quit, and then type these sequence of keystrokes to solve it. So it's second matrix, edit. No, let's go back and try that again. I'm going to clear and start over. Second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2. So let's say that fast. Second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2. I usually have students say these things over and over and over as they solve until they get them in their head, and then they are actually, this is the fastest way to solve a system. So most students prefer this method over all others. Now you'll notice when I hit enter that I get another matrix. This is a 2 by 1 matrix, but this is actually the 2 ordered pair, the 2 coordinates of the ordered pair that represents the solution to the system. So these 2 lines, if we were to graph them, would cross at 3, negative 4. So that is the solution, and that is how you would write the solution in a, on a test question. All right, for example 2, we're going to just do another one just like that one. So first we write the matrix equation. 2, 3, 3, negative 5 is our coefficient matrix. And then our constant matrix, which is the matrix B, is 12, negative 4. So let's go in and type it again. Second matrix, edit 1. This is a 2 by 2 matrix, so you can just type enter and go past those 2 numbers, or you can type over them, 2 by 2, either one. Now type in the matrix A, which is 2, enter, 3, enter, 3, enter, negative 5, enter. Now to type matrix B, go to second matrix, edit, 2, this is matrix B. It's a 2 by 1, so you can just type enter to go past those, or you can type over those. The first number is a 12, and the last number is a negative 4. Okay, second mode takes you back to the home screen. And so let's try this again. Second, matrix, 1, inverse. That's the button with the X to the -1. It looks like an exponent, but it means inverse. Second, matrix, 2. And your screen should have A inverse B on the screen. When you type enter, it will give you a solution. Now, this solution is not very attractive. So, in general, we don't like to have irrational numbers represented as as decimals that are repeating, or as decimals like these. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert this into a fraction. So to do that, you just type math and then enter twice. See, it says 1 fraction, so that's fraction, and then type enter again. See, and it will give you 2 numbers in fraction form. So the x coordinate is 48/19, and the y coordinate is 44/19. So not a very pretty fraction, but imagine trying to do that by hand. It's a much easier way to get such an ugly answer. All right, let's move on to the third system of equations. Now, this third system is unlike the first two because this time we have a 3x3 system. That means we have 3 equations and we have 3 variables, x, y, and z. I'm going to clear my screen here, and we are going to have to do some things different. First, we have to write a system of equations with 3 variables in each equation. So the first equation was x minus y is equal to 8. So we're going to write x minus y plus 0z is equal to 8 so that we have something for the z. And then the second equation was y plus 2z equals -7. So we're going to write 0x plus y plus 2z is equal to -7. And the third equation has all 3 variables, so we really don't have to do any changes to the third equation. For most students, they don't really write this equation. They just go straight into their matrix, but I wanted to have that in the handout so you would have it there for reference. Now notice there are 3 columns. There are 3 rows and 3 columns in the first matrix. It is a 3x3 matrix. So when you do second matrix, edit 1, this time we're going to change these dimensions to 3x3. All right, and then we're going to put in the 3x3, the coefficient matrix. So the first coefficient was 1 because x doesn't have a number in front of it. And notice I'm just typing over the ones that are in here. The second coefficient was -1 because that was minus y. And the third coefficient would be 0 because there was a 0 in front of the z. And then the second row, there's a 0 in front of x, 1 in front of y, 2 in front of z. And then the third matrix, there's a 3 in front of x, a 1, y, and a -2z. All right, once you have your coefficient matrix in, go back and put in your constants, which are on the right side of your equation. So we'll do second matrix, edit, so go 2 to the right, and type 2. That will give you matrix B. Now this is not a 2x1. In this problem, it's a 3x1 because it has 3 rows and 1 column. If you get them backwards, again, you'll know because the matrix will be going the wrong direction. So now let's put in the 3 values. 8, enter, -7, enter, and 6, enter. To get out of the matrix, we go back to our home screen, second mode, and this is our home screen, and we solve. So we type second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2, and then we type enter. And lo and behold, we have a nice integer solution. Notice this is an ordered triple. These are values of x, y, and z because we had a 3x3 system. Okay, finally we have a system that is not in standard form for the last example. This is example number 4. So before we can solve the system, we need to get this in standard form. Notice the 1/2 x on the right side of the equation. You would subtract and get negative 1/2 x on the left side of the equation. Notice the negative 6x on the right side of the second equation. We add to get positive 6x on the left side of the second equation. And once we do that, everything is in proper order. We don't typically have fractions in standard form, but for this particular type of problem, it's okay to use it's okay to have fractions in these problems because we can input fractions into our matrices in the calculator. So we're not going to eliminate any fractions. I'll go ahead and clear this out, and then I'm going to type in the first matrix. Second matrix, edit 1. This is a 2 by 2, so 2 enter for my dimensions. The first one is negative 1/2. Now you can use alpha y equals enter if you have this calculator. The older model calculators do not have that feature, so you can just type a fraction like dividing, negative 1 divided by 2. So just so you know. All right, and then 1, enter, 6, enter, 1, enter. So those are my coefficients for matrix A. Second matrix, edit 2 is matrix B. This is a 2 by 1 because it has 2 rows and 1 column. Let's go down to the matrix and put in the numbers, negative 3, enter, and 7, enter. All right, second mode. Now I'm going to show you something that's not in your handout. Instead of typing second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2, which we have been typing over and over, type second enter. Second enter will retype the last thing that you typed, and that is what we typed in our previous problem. So it will basically type all those keystrokes for you at once. Now when you type enter, it will give you the solution. The solution is not very pretty. So let's convert this into fractions. We will type math, enter, enter, and now we have our solution, an ordered pair. 20/13 is the x-coordinate and negative 29/13 is the y-coordinates. So don't forget, when inputting matrices, second matrix edit 1 is matrix A, second matrix edit 2 is matrix B, and solving is second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2. And just so you know, students in my classes, we say a little rap and we say it really fast and over until every student can pretty much master solving second matrix edit 1, second matrix edit 2, second matrix 1 inverse second matrix 2. And it's kind of silly when you're saying that really fast and people laugh, but it does help you to remember it. So whatever it takes to remember your keystrokes, I would encourage you to use this technique in solving systems on standardized tests, even if you're solving them using other methods like elimination, or if you're using substitution or one of those other methods, which are excellent ways to solve systems. This is a great way, a quick way to check to make sure you have not made an error. So remember, the best way to learn how to use your calculator is to practice. So until we meet again, practice, practice, practice.